I don't believe in exercises at all. I already knew how to play the blues, but I had to kind of relearn. I like to have power chords, not my solo sound. Nice to meet you, Michael. Yeah.
So great to get to know you.
Thanks for having me.
So, of course, a lot of people know you in the guitar world from being like a studio and session player also.
Yeah.
Like, I would really like to know, like, what was your, like your background? Did it help a lot that you, I heard you're a really good reader, is that right?
I can read, yeah, but I think that what happened to me is I was playing rock and roll as a kid. And then I said, I need to learn to play acoustic guitar, and then I got a good job playing in a club 5 nights a week, you know, in a bar. Mm-hmm. And I was about 18 years old, and that was great for finger picking and singing and playing. But then I heard you know, some jazz, and I went, oh my God, I thought I was a really good player. I could play Crossroads, I could play Stairway to Heaven, I could play all the tunes at the time. So I started studying jazz, and I really got into it. Like for the next 6 or 7 years.
Did you have a teacher then, or something?
I mean, I did get different lessons from different people, and even Joe Pass.
I see.
Joe DiOrio was a big influence, and so it was a very much studying really hard, working 5 nights a week, playing jazz. I went to Berklee College of Music for one semester, learned a little about harmony, learned how to read a little bit. And then one day, I was driving in my car in North Hollywood, right where I live, and it's like the corner of Riverside Drive and Laurel Canyon, and this Joe Walsh solo came on the radio. And it was so good, I just had to pull my car over and listen to it. It was so strong.
Which one was it? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Those Shoes by the Eagles. That solo, just like, I went, oh my God, the level of creativity and the level of musicianship in rock and roll guitar has come a long way since I sort of left off. And at that moment, I always tell it like this, the skies opened up and a beam of light came down upon me and said, you must learn everything you dig. So I started to learn to play country music and blues, and I mean, I already knew how to play the blues, but I had to kind of relearn, you know, just how to bend notes, and it was kind of a reacquaint myself, and it was with all the styles I'd grown up with, because at the time, I mean, I could play 26 choruses on Stella by Starlight, but that's not the music of my people, you know what? That's kind of how I felt about it. So that's kind of what happened to me. At the moment when I started just learning everything, I mean, even classical guitar, and I just started learning it. If I liked it, I would want to know it. And I'm still that way, you know, with harmony especially. If you hear a song on the radio that you've been listening to since you were a kid, but what are those chord changes? I just want to know what they're doing, you know, and why I like it, you know.
It's like transcribing or listening to stuff and picking stuff up from the records. Is that something that you feel like is really, really important, maybe more important than, you know, exercises and things?
Oh yeah, I don't believe in exercises at all. Yeah. The only exercise I do is mental exercises.
Oh really?
Like this. Here's the C pentatonic scale. C major. So I like to do this. Here's F, right? B flat, you know. E flat. If you do that, if you do sort of mental exercises, and then you start thinking in terms, well, I should really know the whole C scale, not just this, but the lowest note to the highest note, without looking at it, right? Here's F. And here's B flat. You go, you know, here's A flat.
So really getting to know the neck, right?
And when you're doing A flat major, pentatonic, especially, you're doing F minor pentatonic. So then you take in the range of the guitar. In other words, instead if you're playing like an F minor, that's what most people are going to do. But I can go. Take in the range.
Maybe that was also the start of exploring the intervallic.
Yeah.
Because I have your book about.
Oh, you do?
Of course.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
And we all have.
All right.
We all
Wow.
do.
Great.
Well, that was already so interesting because I think that's maybe that made you really suitable for pursuing studio jobs, right?
Yeah. You have to look at as a working guitar player. You have to say, all right. There's what I call the well-listened craftsman, meaning you're a craftsman, like a plumber. Plumber comes over and you go, there's a leak under the sink. He goes, well, I'm gonna need to go out the trunk and get a crescent wrench and a street L and and he goes, so for me, they go, we want you to sound like ZZ Top. And I go, well, that's Billy Gibbons. He plays a Les Paul through some sort of a Fender Champ. He's got the Texas Shuffle, which is different than the Chicago Shuffle. And so you sort of put it all together and you come out with Billy Gibbons because you're a fan. Now that's one style, that's one way to make a living. Another way to make a living is if you get in a big popular band like Supertramp, then although I became a band member in 1996, I was just a hired guy before that. Once I became a band member, I got to inject my own musical ideas into it, but I still have to follow the musical vision of the leader of the band, who is named Rick Davies, who just passed away.
Yes.
So sad, I know. He's a dear friend and a real mentor, So that's why I started my own band, because then it's just my musical vision. If the chord is D, right, but I want to hear a ninth in it, like that, it's cool. You can do it. So anyway, that's kind of the way I look at it. You kind of have there's things where you can be super creative, your own group or whatever, your own music, things where you have to follow the musical vision. And then there's even with studio work, you almost have to do exactly what's written or exactly what they're asking for.
But maybe that's also the fun of the job.
Yeah.
It's like,
because if you're a fan of music, you're gonna love that, so.
Baby, just don't get too close. I'll give you some tomorrow.
So, for the past 27 years, my band has been touring here, and I've had 2 Fender Twins for the clean, right?
Okay.
And my distortion has been like either a Dr. Z or a Marshall, slaved through a power amp using like a Lexicon PCM 41. So in other words, line level. So I've had stereo clean and out of a 4x12 wet dry distortion. So it's a giant rig.
Yes.
I looked at this trip and it's only 3 weeks, very short. And this guy in Italy, Marco Ferrari, he made these amps called Dream Makers, and I heard one when I was in Verona, and I thought it sounded really good. And to be quite honest, the Fender Twin, great amp, and I have 2 of them at home, but at home I use a Hiwatt and a Showman. But the Fender Twin really doesn't open up till you turn it up to 5. I mean, it's kind of cold sounding but at 5 you're engaging the power amp tube. And since we got a female vocalist in the band who stands in front of this wall of sound, so at home I'm using heads, so I have 2 4x12s with the hi-hat coming out of the far left and the Showman coming out of the far right, and down the middle's the wet dry. I'm using it like that. Sounds amazing. But with her standing in front of it, I just feel bad. She's now got in-ears and her own personal mixer, so she can get around it.
But you're a fan of stereo setups.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah,
by
I
the
love
way.
stereo. Yeah, I brought this little tiny pedal board.
So the signal path is from your guitar into
a tuner. Yeah.
And then it's straight into the
1, 2, 3, 4 pedals and out stereo. Yeah, it's so simple. And
Okay.
I did it this way on purpose, just as a challenge. Sounds. And then
that's basically your setup for your band here. It's not the setup for the big arenas and the Supertramp.
Right,
setup,
that's
or-
a giant pedal board, and it has even a fifth amp because I like to have power chords, not my solo sound.
Okay.
So I had a pedal board that has 3 outputs, right? Clean, semi-distortion that went into just a little 50-watt Marshall, and a 4x12 cabinet facing backwards, but you know, if this is the stage facing backwards. And that was great because then when you're doubling bass lines, you know, it's not the solo sound, which I want to be, you know, godlike.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
that and then my rig, I have 4 distortion pedals on it. I have this thing, which is an Italian pedal. And
Well,
I
you
have,
like Italian stuff, so
Yeah, yeah.
I agree. It's
they've
a
got
good choice.
They've got some good ideas. So I have one of these. I have a Landgraf. I have a Nobles, and I have a Klon, an original Klon.
An original clone.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And for my distortion on the
Big hype on these pedals.
yeah, they're big money now. Yeah, I've had it a long time, luckily. And I also have a Dumble Overdrive Special that's my distortion head, you know,
Okay.
over at home, you know.
Okay.
So
You don't bring it in on tour?
no,
Or,
I don't really. Well, I take it on tour in the States, which my wife thinks is crazy.
okay.
But I said it's insured enough that where if it gets stolen, we'll get the insurance and get a Ferrari
Okay, yeah, you have.
or 2.
You don't have a guard for the amp. And
Yeah, my guitar tech. He goes, "You go to dinner. I'm going to stay with the
There's a
Dumble."
weapon. And
Yeah.
Okay, and so this is your flight pedal
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, but I fly with my bigger board with this band when I'm using the bigger rig.
Okay.
But I kind of wanted a bit of a challenge because we've been touring all year. We did the East Coast, the Midwest, and the West Coast of the U.S.
Okay.
So this tour is only 3 weeks. I thought, you know, I'm going to challenge myself and see if I can just make my hands work
It sounds great.
harder. Oh, good.
Yes, it
Good.
sounds-
So I'm playing the simplest rig, and I'm really enjoying it. And I played for like 9,000 people in Geneva last September with 2 Fender Deluxes
Yeah.
and this and you know, and a Strat, and I pulled it off. So I went, all right, you know. Only I know that the delays are in stereo and they're timed for each tune. Only I know that, you know.
Programming everything,
Program-
tapping
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Only.
And just a few words on your guitar,
Mm-hmm.
because years ago I saw a video where you explained the setting of your whammy bar.
Yeah.
And I must confess, I tried it and
Didn't work?
It worked, but I spent hours on setting the springs, and it didn't look as yours. It was more like crossover ring, but it's the same setup here because I heard it. So on every yes.
Yeah, so you
What-
can, you know.
what- How did you develop this idea of setting your whammy bar in
Well,
this?
we're all big Jeff Beck fans.
Yes.
So I could hear, you know, stuff like that tune, Where Were You, or whatever that one. That tune that he
Yes.
does. And I was wondering, I wonder if he knows the interval or if it's just his ear. So I found out that mine goes up to B flat, his goes all the way up to a C.
Okay.
So that means this is really cocked up, you know, it's much higher. My angle is not too bad at all. So I started thinking, you know, it'd be good for me to have an idea of where it's going, is to know that if I want to, like, I know. You know, I know if I'm in the key of F, right? You know, I know where the notes are going, and I have a tune that we'll probably play tonight. We haven't played it yet. It goes. So it's little chords like these two will bend to there. So I can go.
Yes.
It's that kind of thing. So let me see. I'm just forgetting a bunch of my stuff. Anyway,
Okay, just for our viewers, it's the basic idea is to have fixed intervals on the high 3 strings.
right, just the tie 3, and you do that by adjusting the claw. The angle of the claw will give you that, and you just keep fooling with it until once you get this, the others sort of follow in, you know,
Yes.
and you can kind of fine tune it. So it's cool. And it's pretty much in tune, yeah. Yeah.
It was a pleasure
Oh, great.
meeting you.
Yeah, you too.
Have a great gig tonight.
Yeah,
here in
we should-
Munich.
we'll have
Enjoy
fun.
the city and the audience.
I love it.
Great,
You know, I've played the Olympic Stadium a lot of times.
Yes.
And with Supertramp, and one time I played there, and they said, "We'd like you to put your handprint in the concrete." So I don't know where that is, but one day I want to go back to the Olympic Stadium and find where my name and my handprint is.
So thank you. Thanks again.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Me too. Yeah. Thank you.
Standing with a spark and a flame, nothing ever gonna be the same.